Grass is one of my favorite types, which kinda sucks for me because, well, they just aren't that good, not gonna lie. I mean, when you've got a negative matchup against worms, then maybe we have a problem. But it's not all bad news, as we have at least 5 new grass types in this generation. So it's time to see if we can beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Violet using only grass types. Now, I'm sure most of you know what a Nuzlocke is, but here are the rules on screen, and they'll be down in the description as well if you just need a refresher or are not too sure what the rules are. After I finish making my broccoli cosplay, the director comes to the house and gives my mum some very lustful looks, but I immediately forget as I'm introduced to the starters, and obviously I'm picking the grass cat who we named Sprig. And honestly, after a couple of months to think on it, the Meowscarada line might be my favourite starters from this gen, but let me know in the comments below who captured your heart. Even Sprig's future stats make him the best starter for a Nuzlocke because in my opinion, it's much better to hit hard and fast, and the other two are pretty slow and hit either just as hard or fall short in terms of DPS. Before I can move on and catch more grass buddies, I do have to battle my rival, but Sprig is able to handle her pretty well thanks to our type and speed advantage. And immediately after, I catch our next team member, Joy the Hoppip, and my god, is Joy going to be a monster. But for now, we have to revive a Motoraptor, escape some puppers looking for a pat, and then we battle Arven for the ownership of said Motoraptor. This is another easy fight that Sprig just mindlessly wins, and then we climb up to the top of the lighthouse and have a quick look at the view, and it's beautiful. I explore some more of the starting area, but nothing all that exciting is around, and I run into my rival again. But this is one of the few cases where our grass typing completely walls my opponent, as Quaxley just dies to 2 leafages, and Pawmi does next to no damage even with terrestrialization, so it's a pretty easy win. Then after a grueling hour in the academy, because school even sucks in gaming, it's time to finally head off to the first gym. But on the way I catch our second Gen 9 encounter, Oliver the Smoliv. The first gym is going to be tough since the matchup really isn't in our favour. Thankfully though, Joy is a part flying type, and even better, Joy's terrestrial type is flying, which completely flips the matchup on its head. So now it's time to take on the bug gym leader, and Joy, the absolute psychotic maniac, goes goddamn Dormer on Katie's first 2 Pokemon as we terrestrialize into a pure flying type. Those balloons are about to pop some bugs as our lead Nimble gets one-shot by an Aerial Ace, and her second Pokemon Tarantula also falls to a single Aerial Ace. This just leaves her Teddiursa, who terrestrializes so hard only its hat remains. It returns to reality to get hit by an Aerial Ace, which brings it down to half HP. But then it lands a Fury Swipes, which does hurt, but procs our Oran Berry, healing Joy back up. But unfortunately the second hit crits, and if we didn't have an Oran Berry, we would have lost Joy here. But then the little bastard steals our Oran Berry, and now Aerial Ace won't kill next turn. So I'm forced to click a pretty risky button, the Holy Sleep Powder, with only 75% accuracy. If we miss this move, we won't only lose Joy, but potentially the run. Joy the Beast pulls through and lands the hit, putting Teddiursa to sleep. I then use this next turn to use Synthesis to heal up, just in case Teddiursa wakes up on the first turn, and thank god because it actually does. And it lands a Terra boosted Fury Cutter, and due to Fury Cutter getting stronger with each consecutive hit, I'm forced to hit another Sleep Powder, and Joy is just a demon, and the Teddiursa falls back to sleep. And from here, we're able to heal again and then hit 2 more Aerial Aces, winning the battle. Thank god Hoppip was Terra flying, or we would have been in trouble. After a stressful battle, it's only fair we get some evolutions, as Sprig evolves into his second stage and Joy evolves as well. But you might be thinking, the level cap is level 17 and Hoppip evolves to level 18. Yes, I am an idiot and I thought the level cap was level 18, but it's 17. But it's fine. Honestly, it doesn't change anything, I promise. And we also catch this spunky buck-toothed gangster, the Kid. After gathering up the town's population of Sunflora, we are able to challenge the second gym, and he claims to be the grass-type master, but I'm here to prove him wrong. Sprig starts the battle by sharpening his claws, boosting his attack, and we're easily able to get to +3 before one-shotting his lead with Aerial Ace. This brings in Smoliv, but no way could it take a +3 attack, and this leaves us with his ace Sudowoodo, who terrestrializes and becomes the beautiful tree he always wanted to be. Our Aerial Ace isn't able to take it out as it boosts its speed with a Trail Blaze, but it isn't enough as Sprig finishes the sweep with one more Aerial Ace. I continued the gym hunting by heading straight to Levincia, where I run into my rival who's ready to throw down. But with a flower crown on his head, Sprig one-shots all of her Pokemon. Well, I mean, Quaxwell lives, but a second Seed Bomb makes up for it. I play a quick game of Find the Director, and then I give Stern a Sunstone so it can evolve into Sunflora, making it just a little more useful. We grind most of the team to the level cap, and now I'm ready to take on the queen of Paldea's streaming world, Ino. She leads with Wattrel, which threatens my team pretty hard due to it being a part flying type, but Joy is able to put it to sleep. Joy then wraps it up with a Leech Seed, draining its HP every turn, and then I hit a weak 2-turn Bullet Seed, though I'm pretty sure I'm just misclicking here because, like, why wouldn't I just use Aerial Ace? We hit a 5-turn Seed next turn, and then Wattrel steals Joy's Orange Berry with a Pluck. I then put it back to sleep, and on the next turn, I hit another 2-hit Bullet Seed, which takes it out. I won't lie, I've never been high in my life. Like, I'm a good guy, but goddamn, I had to be high or drunk this battle. But it goes on anyway, and she brings out her Belly Bolt, and I see it again as it sparks, bringing Joy down to 12 HP and paralyzing her. Since I want to keep Joy around, I bring in Stern, who is able to whittle down Belly Bolt with Leech Seeds and Giga Drains, sending the friend-shaped fiend back into his Pokeball. Next is a Luxio, but I set up the ultimate healing with Leech Seed and Grassy Terrain. I then misclick Grassy Terrain again, and I have to tank a bite, but I'm finally able to hit a Giga Drain to take her Luxio down, and bringing Stern basically back to full HP, leaving her with her ace Mismagius. So of course, it's time to set up the Suck strat again, and Mismagius terrestrializes and lands a pretty nasty Hex, but we fire back with a Leech Seed. No more playing around though, as I bring in the old reliable Sprig. I terrestrialize, but Mismagius uses Confuse Ray, confusing Sprig, but he's a Chad and breaks through it, allowing him to land a nasty Seed Bomb. Her Hex then procs Sprig's Berry, and he hits himself in confusion, but all we need is one more tick of Leech Seed, so I bring in Oliver, who is a normal type, so Hex doesn't affect him, and one last Suck is enough to win a poorly played gym fight. With the XP from the fight, Oliver evolves into Dolive, and later down the road, Joy evolves into his final form, Jumpluff. And just look at that smile. Kofu, the silly dweeb, dropped his wallet, so I have to go give it to him, and on my journey, I catch a Go-Goat and a Cacnea, but they don't see much use in this run, and then I eventually find Kofu, and once I've proved myself to be good enough to speak, I'm able to give him his wallet, and Sugar Daddy Kofu gives us the big bucks, but forces us to partake in a bid, which I win because I'm just the king. And now, finally, Kofu is ready to battle. Now, obviously, Kofu is a water type gym leader, so this was going to be a pretty easy battle for our grass types, but Sprig, the legend, absolutely solos him as one Seed Bomb kills each of his Pokemon. With the new level cap of 36, we get to evolve Oliver into his final form, and this is one of my favorite designs from this gen. And speaking of Gen 9 favorites, Sprig also evolves into Meowscarada and gets one of the most broken grass type moves, Flower Trick, a move that can never miss and always crits. This plus Grass Terror equals an absolutely nasty amount of damage, and we get to test this out on the hard-working, forever relatable Larry. Larry unfortunately is about to have another rough shift as Sprig sets up Home Claws, though his Koala does land a nasty slam in return. I get greedy and set up a second one as Sprig gets drowsy. I terrestrialize Sprig and one-shot Koala with Flower Trick, and thanks to a Chesto Berry we don't fall asleep. Next is everyone's favorite evolution, the Dunsparce, whom I destroy with a Flower Trick. Last is his Staraptor, who might have lived an attack, but he terrestrializes into a normal type, allowing Flower Trick to do neutral damage, and with this we've won our 5th badge. I then head over to the East Province where I catch a Bramblin, who is one of the weakest additions to Gen 9, but he joins the team. Then after I beat everyone's favorite esports owner, I get to battle for my 6th badge, and this time it's a double battle. She leads with Bayonet and Mimikyu as I lead with Sprig and Oliver. Sprig's Night Slash is able to swiftly one-shot Bayonet as Oliver gets hit by Mimikyu's Slash. This does activate his ability Seed Sower, which sets up the grassy terrain, boosting our grass type moves. Oliver then breaks Mimikyu's disguise with a Energy Ball as Rhyme brings out her Houndstone. It doesn't stay on the field for long though, as a Night Slash from Sprig one-shots it, and Sprig isn't being respected as Mimikyu slashes Oliver again. Oliver does retaliate with a nasty Energy Ball, but unfortunately it hangs on with 1 HP. Toxtricity comes out for Rhyme, but Sprig is just too insane as he gets yet another one-shot with Night Slash, and Oliver is able to finish Mimikyu off with another Energy Ball, winning the battle. And it's on to the 7th gym. I do mess up a bit though, as I set up 2 Hone Claws, which was free since her Farigiraf can't really touch Sprig, but it sets up a Reflect, which makes our physical moves a lot weaker. However, thanks to Flower Trick, this shouldn't be a problem, as it ignores the defense boost due to it always critting. And from here, Sprig one-shots the 7th gym with Flower Trick, earning us the 7th badge. Before taking on Grusha, who I know is a dude, I'm sorry about last time, we give the kid a Firestone, evolving him into a part Fire type, which will be essential for beating Grusha and his Ice types. Oh, also we catch a Snova, but I couldn't find the footage. I then absolutely dice it on the Ice Court. Dice it, that's a thing, right? And now it's time for the final gym battle. Grusha leads with Frothmoth as I lead with the kid, who sets up a Sunny Day, boosting our speed thanks to Chlorophyll. Though Frostmoth sets up a Tailwind, instantly cancelling it out. The kid's growth now does give him +2 though, which is great, as Frothmoth does hit a nasty Blizzard, proccing his Citrus Berry. Flamethrower is then easily able to one-shot his Moth as he brings in the Bear, but it can't handle the heat either, as another Flamethrower takes it out. So Titan had a chance to live with Thick Bat, but the kid is just too strong, and yet another Flamethrower gets the one-shot. This leaves me with his Ace, but I'm scared the kid can't outspeed, so I bring in Bramby, who gets an attack boost from Hurricane thanks to his ability Wind Rider, though he immediately falls to an Ice Beam on the next turn. But this gives me a free switch into Oliver, and he's able to Terastallize into a normal type, shredding his weakness to flying and ice type moves. Though Altaria misses its first Hurricane, allowing Oliver to land a Leech Seed, and from here it's as simple as watching Oliver suck Altaria's life away with a few Energy Balls in between. How beautiful. With a level cap of 62, Snova is able to evolve into a Bomber Snow, and now it's time to take on the Elite Four. We start off this battle royale with Rika, who leads with Wishcash as I lead with Sprig. Her handsome catfish isn't able to shake off the power of Sprig's Flower Trick though, as it gets one shot. She then sends out her Camerupt, and I make a risky play and I Terastallize and go for Flower Trick, praying it one shots, and luckily Sprig is pretty OP and gets the KO. Next up is her Donphan, who does live a Flower Trick, but that's thanks to its sturdy ability as it retaliates with a Poison Jab, which wouldn't be too bad if it didn't poison Sprig, putting him on a timer. We are able to take it out on the next turn though, bringing in her Dog Trio, who I fear will outspeed Sprig, so I send in Oliver, who shakes off a weak Earthquake. It then sets up a Sandstorm as Oliver's Energy Ball knocks it out. This leaves Rika with her last Pokemon Clodsire, but after some stalling with Protect, Oliver is able to take it out with 2 more Energy Balls. Next up is Poppy and her Steel types. She sends out her Copraja as I lead with the kid, and I Terastallize so we resist the incoming high horsepower, which the kid shakes off after setting up a Sunny Day. This allows the kid to one-shot the Steel Elephant with Flamethrower on the next turn. Corviknight could be a problem with its flying type, but the kid outspeeds and one-shots it, neutralizing the threat straight away. Magnezone, however, does live a Flamethrower due to its sturdy ability, which allows it to set up a light screen, which is actually extremely annoying. Poppy then sends out her Bronzong after we take out Magnezone, but due to the sturdy stall, we need to set up another Sunny Day as Bronzong hits an Iron Head. The kid's Flamethrower then only does half of its HP due to the light screen, but we're able to take it out on the next turn, but the kid is left on only 13 HP. Thankfully, the light screen does run out, so her ace Tinkaton gets a neat one-shot for its troubles from a sun-boosted Flamethrower, ending the second fight. This brings us to the hardest battle yet, the Larry rematch. Larry leads with his own Grass-type Tropius as I lead with Oliver, who I Terastallize straight away into a normal type, getting rid of the flying type weakness. Tropius sets up the sun, which is perfect as it gives Oliver a boosted growth, and after tanking a Solar Beam, a Terra Blast finishes Tropius off. Unfortunately, Larry ruins my fun as he brings in Staraptor, so I'm forced to bring in Joy. who eats up the close combat. Joy then puts Staraptor to sleep and is ready to throw out some acrobatics, but I misclick Sleep Powder again on the next turn, and Staraptor wakes up straight away and kills Joy with a Brave Bird. This was a huge mistake and it's going to cause us a lot of trouble. I then bring in Stern, who I intend to sack for the Brave Bird recoil, which of course happens. But this allows me to send out Sprig, who outspeeds and finishes Staraptor off with a Flower Trick. This battle is rough and we still need to knock out 3 Pokemon. Larry's next Pokemon is Altaria, but Oliver is able to stall with Leech Seed and Leftovers healing, eventually taking it out with a Terra Blast. But then in comes his second last Pokemon, Orikoko, who hits Oliver with a pretty nasty Revelation Dance, as Oliver lands a Leech Seed. The Dancing Bird of Hell hits another Revelation Dance, but this time it crits as Oliver's Terra Blast barely misses out on the KO, but Leech Seed is able to finish it off. And now it's his last Pokemon, Flamingo, who terrestrializes and lands a boosted Brave Bird, but Oliver toughs it out, so he aren't sad as I set up a Leech Seed and instead of attacking, I don't know, I'm not good at this game. I then bring in the kid, who gets smashed by a close combat, leaving him on 60 HP. Flamingo then lands a Brave Bird, but the kid also doesn't want us to be sad, so he lives on 1 HP as a Flamethrower takes out Larry's ace, winning the battle. But now we only have 4 team members remaining. But now it's the last Elite 4 member. I lead with the Bomber Snow, who doesn't have the Ice Terror type, so Noivern is able to land a devastating Air Slash, but Blizzard is able to secure the Revenge KO. Dragalge is next, but for some reason I forgot that Poison does in fact not resist Ice, so I bring in Oliver, who eats a Sludge Bomb, and while it did hurt, it's the Poison status that hurts the most. Oliver then terrestrializes into a normal type, allowing him to live the Sludge Bomb, and then he begins the Suck setup with Leech Seed. Oliver then lives with the 6 HP from the Sludge Bomb, which allows him to fire off a Terra Blast, as the passive healing saves him from the poison tick. He then miraculously outspeeds out of nowhere and another Terra Blast takes out the Dragalge. Flapple is next, but I'm able to bring in the kid, who resists the Seed Bomb, and I set up a Sunny Day for speed control as Dragon Rust brings the kid down to 60 HP. We then outspeed the next turn, and with the Sun Boost, Flamethrower is able to take Flapple down. Hazel then sends in Haxorus, and the only way the kid lives is with a burn, but unfortunately we don't get it, and Dragon Claw kills the coolest Capsicum ever. I then bring in a Bomber Snow as Ice Shard misses the KO, forcing him to tank an Iron Head, which he lives on 6 HP. Another Ice Shard is then able to finish it off. This leaves us with Baxcalibur, and we're basically left with only 1 Pokemon. Baxcalibur becomes a pure Dragon type, making the Ice Shard super effective, but it still does little damage as Icicle Crash takes Sug out. It's now up to Sprig and his 90% accurate Play Rough, which of course misses. And Baxcalibur takes advantage of that with a nasty Icicle Crash, one-shotting Sprig, our starter and best friend. But Oliver is in the back and he's come back from worse. But unfortunately there was no coming back here as Baxcalibur ends the run with 1 final Glaive Rush. I definitely played these fights poorly, and this challenge is for sure doable, and I think it was me that failed the challenge, not the grass types. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway, and if you did, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you all and have a very safe day.